Hello and good morning friends. This is S.M. Bhagwan, lecturer in English, Government Polytechnic, Solapur. And in this lecture, we are going to study reported speech, that is direct and indirect speech in English language. As we know, direct and indirect speech are a very important part of our communication process. So, the reported speech is the actual words spoken by the speaker. It is to be converted into indirect speech. Hence, it is used to report someone's actual words into indirect speech. For example, he said to me, "Where are you going?" In this example, the first part is the reporting verb. He said to me is the reporting verb of this example. And the second part, that is where are you going? This is the reported speech. At first, we need to understand what is the reporting verb and what is the reported speech of a particular sentence. Now, this sentence is to be converted into indirect speech. While converting the direct speech into the indirect speech, there are some rules to be followed. For example, we have to simplify this reported speech. After that, we have to use the conjunctions to connect these two clauses or sentences. After that, we have to remove these comma and quotation marks from this sentence. And again, there are some changes of pronouns like you, I, he, she. The changes is according to the reporting verb. So, at first we need to understand the various types of rules related to the direct and indirect speech. Friends, as we know, this is considered to be the very complex types of questions that are difficult to solve, and most of the students are not able to solve the questions on direct and indirect speech in correct manner, and most of the times they commit mistakes of different types. For example, they do not choose the conjunction properly, they forget to remove the quotation marks, and again they are not able to convert the proper form of the pronoun in that particular sentence. So these are the common mistakes a student commits while converting a direct speech into indirect speech. So let's have a look at the rules of conversion. Friends, here it is important for you that these rules are a few, and if we understand and remember these rules, we can easily convert a direct sentence into indirect speech. So these rules are very important and they are very few. So it is very easy to understand, it is very easy to remember. Once you understand and remember these rules of conversion of direct sentence into indirect speech, it will be easy for us to solve the questions on direct and indirect speech. Let's have a look at the rules. The rule number 1 says the answer will be written according to the tense of reporting verb. Now here we have to understand what is the reporting verb of a particular sentence. In the previous example, just I have told you what is the reporting verb and what is the reported speech. At first we need to focus on the reporting verb of that particular sentence. Secondly, if the reported speech is a simple sentence, if the reported speech, that is the sentence in the quotation mark, if that sentence is a simple sentence, in that case we should use the conjunction that. We should use conjunction that to connect those two sentences. Next, if the reported speech is an imperative adnyarthi vakya, if the reported speech is an imperative sentence, in that case we should use the conjunction to. Imperative sentence means the sentence in the quotation mark starts with the verb. It starts with the verb, so it becomes imperative sentence. To connect that type of sentence to the reporting verb, we should use the conjunction to. Next, if the reported speech is an interrogative sentence, interrogative prashnarthi vakya, in that case we use either if or whether as the conjunction of that type of sentence. If the reported speech is an exclamation, we know the sentence is ending with exclamatory mark. In that case, we have to use the conjunction that to join those two sentences. These are some of the rules. Let's have a look at some more rules. If the reported speech is an interrogative sentence with to be is helping verb. Previously, we were talking about the interrogative sentence starting with WH words. Here, we are also talking about interrogative verbs, but these interrogative, that means prashnarthi vakya, it starts from am, is, are, was, were, shall be, will be, do, does, did, etc. In this situation, we use conjunction if or whether in those particular examples. Next, if the reported speech starts with don't, in that case we use conjunction not to, to use those sentences. Next, if the reporting verb is in simple present tense or simple future tense, there will be no change in the tense of the verb in indirect speech. This is the very important rule, and in such type of example, the students are likely to commit mistakes again and again, because we are very much in hurry and worry, and in that case we try to solve these examples in a fast manner, and so we don't pay attention to the reporting verb. So friends, now we have seen 7 to 8 rules of conversion, and among those rules, this is a very important rule that we should pay attention at first to the reporting verb of that particular sentence. At first, we should take into account, we should consider the tense of the reporting verb, that is important to us. If the tense of the reporting verb is in simple present tense or simple future tense, there will be no change in the tense of the verb in indirect speech. This is the very important rule as far as the direct and indirect conversion is related. Next, if the reported speech is a universal truth, it will remain as it is. As we know, the sun rises in the east, the sun revolves around the earth, or earth revolves around the sun. In such type of examples, which are universal truth, the tense of that particular example cannot be changed, or it becomes the same or as it is. Now, how the tenses are converted into indirect speech? This rule is very interesting and it is very easy, and some of the students get confused while converting the tense of that particular example. And now here is the chart that is showing us, giving us the information about the changes to be done in the tenses in direct and indirect speech. Here the first example is if the reporting verb is in past tense and reported speech is in present tense. It is to be converted. Simple present tense becomes simple past tense. You take the printout, or you take down this chart in your notebook so that you can easily understand the conversion of changes in case of tenses. Again, the simple past tense becomes past perfect tense. Present perfect tense becomes past perfect tense. Present continuous tense becomes past continuous tense. Past continuous tense becomes past perfect continuous tense. and present perfect continuous tense becomes past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect tense becomes past perfect tense. That means it remains the same. So this is the chart of conversion of various tenses in English direct and indirect speech. So as far as the conversion of the tenses is concerned, it is very limited, and if we understand or if we remember the conversion of tenses, it is very simple to solve the questions based on direct and indirect speech. So rules are very important, my friends. So you need to understand, you need to remember the various rules related to the conversion of direct and indirect speech. Now here are some changes regarding the pronouns of the word. That becomes I, becomes he or she, we becomes they, you becomes it can become I or he or she. It is dependent on the subject of that particular subject and object of that particular example. It is dependent, and we logically can solve such type of question. Here we also can use our logic to solve the examples of direct and indirect speech. Now he becomes he, she becomes she, or it becomes it, they becomes they, Rahul becomes he, Seema becomes she. These are some of the changes which are to be done while converting the sentences into indirect speech. Here are some more changes regarding to the typical words that are used in direct and indirect speech. For example, if there is a word like yesterday, that will become the day before or the previous day. Today becomes that day, tonight becomes that night, tomorrow becomes the next day, now becomes then, thus becomes so, here becomes there, this becomes that, can becomes could, these becomes those, shall becomes should, said becomes told, will becomes would, may becomes might, ago becomes before. So these are some of the changes you need to remember. You recite it, you remember these conversion of the words, various words that can help you while solving the questions on the direct and indirect speech. As this is the first part of the video, actually speaking, I am giving here about 50 to 60 examples to solve the examples on direct and indirect speech. This becomes the first video. In the next video also we are continuing the learning of direct and indirect speech. So here we have the limitation of time that we can record only the video of 15 minutes only. So after seeing this page, we will conclude the session. The simple present tense becomes the simple past tense. This is our rule first. So in the first example, he said, comma into double inverted comma, I write a letter. Now look at the answer of this example. It becomes like this. He told. Said becomes told. So this sentence is a simple sentence ending with full stop. So we have taken here conjunction that. This is important. He told that. Now I becomes he, I becomes he. The conversion of I is dependent on this e. So he told that he, and the simple present tense becomes simple past tense. So we have taken here V2, that is wrote. He wrote a letter, full stop. Here we should not take the quotation mark or double inverted comma or comma. In this way we can write the answer of this question. Friends, here it is necessary to remember that we should not write the quotation marks, comma, and we have to convert this sentence according to this one. That means this is the reporting verb, and look at the tense of the reporting verb. It is in past tense. So we will convert the whole sentence into past tense. So this reporting verb is in past tense and this reported speech is in present tense. But while writing the answers, it becomes the past tense. So try to remember the difference. It is very important. We will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.